Good to see you, sir.
The Lyon County Administrative Complex, 27 South Main Street, Yerington, Nevada, 89447. Zoom is available. You can get the address online at the planning department. Planning Commission meeting is open to the public, and members of the public may attend in person. And the meetings are also virtual, and the public may attend by Zoom. Public comments. Lyon County allows the following alternatives for public comment. If you are attending by visual Zoom meeting, public comment may be provided by raising your hand and requesting to provide public comment. This can occur in several ways, including by dialing *9 from your phone to raise your hand and request to speak to the public comment. To unmute yourself, dial *6. You can also provide public comment for the meeting by sending an email to countyclerk@lyoncounty.org the day prior to the posted meeting date. Be sure to type public comment in the subject line. Written public comments may also be mailed to the Lyon County Community Development Office at 27 South Main Street, Yerington, Nevada, 89447. But all public comment must be received prior to the date of the meeting, if the comments are to be included in the supplemental materials. Any written comment received the day of the meeting will be compiled and added to a supplemental materials to the county's website and distributed to the Planning Commission within 24 hours after the meeting. Members of the public may attend the meeting in person at the Honeywell Lyon County Commission Chambers, 27 South Main Street, Yerington, Nevada. All right, let's start with roll call. Commissioner, our Chairman, Sarah Sola, will not be here today. She's excused. Commissioner Loomis?
Here.
Commissioner Davis?
Here.
Commissioner Allen?
Here.
Online. Commissioner Irvin?
Here.
Commissioner Merritt? Here. All commissioners are present except for the excuse of the chairman. To the Pledge of Allegiance, I've asked Commissioner Davis to lead us in that.
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
And justice for all.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to number 3, public participation. No action will be taken on any item until it is properly agendized. Members of the public who wish to address the Planning Commission may approach the podium and speak on matters related to the Lyon County Planning Commission, but not to items appearing on the agenda. Speakers are asked to state their name for the record and sign the print their name on the form at the lectern. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person or topic. The commission reserves the right to reduce this 3 minutes time limit, as well as limit the total time for public comments. If your item requires extended discussion, please request the chair to calendar the matter for a future Planning Commission meeting. The Planning Commission will not restrict comments based on viewpoint. The same applies to public testimony on each agenda item. The chair may reopen public participation at any time during the meeting. No action may be taken upon a matter raised under this item of the agenda until the matter itself has been specifically included on an agenda and as an item upon which action may be taken. Okay, number 4, review of adoption of the agenda. Has everybody had a chance to? Not going to get public comment in there. Has all the commissioners had a chance to look over the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any comment from the public on the agenda?
Excuse me,
Hello.
this is Audrey Allen. Did you allow for the public to come up and comment?
We're doing that right now when you spoke.
Okay, thank you.
Robin Biggs for the record. Yerington resident. There are three ordered voices of God. God had the animals and the plants here. They hear him. They know how to run away from fires. They know how to be safe. Humans came in. God regularly communicates his will and direction through three everyday aspects of human life: our need, our talent, and our desires. God speaks to the fundamental area of human lack or necessity, including physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual, pointing us to what is missing or what requires healing. The specific gifts, ability, and unique potential we possess act as a directional sign, revealing how we are meant to contribute and serve the world around us. Our desires, deep-seated noble longing and yearning of the heart, often serves as an inner compass, guiding our personal vocation and desire toward peace and purpose. The Planning Commission, the Lyon County Commissioners in the city of Yerington, for years and decades, are ignoring this. We want you to protect yourself and listen to the people's. Open meeting laws and sunshine rules laws are being violated. Those public lands are being sold illegally by Kim Dow of Carson City. This has been spoken time and time again for the solar panels, the Ann Mason mine project. There'll be an open house. HUD Bay Minerals is having an open house regarding the Ann Mason project. The open house will include submitted questions and answer sessions at the Smith Valley Community Hall. The open house is next Tuesday, August 18th, 2026, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Smith Valley Community Hall. We hope there will be a good turnout from the citizens of Yerington, from the city council. They gave a lot of monies to the ball fields and things. I would hope there would be a good turnout from the county commissioners. Andrew Haskins' presence would be greatly appreciated, our county manager. Thank you.
Thank you. For those who don't know, the community center is the old Grange in downtown financial district of Wellington. Okay, any more public comment? Anybody online? All right, nobody online. We'll bring it back to the board for a motion.
I'll make a motion. Wendy Loomis, I'll make a motion to approve. Wendy Loomis, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for August 11th.
This is Jim Davis. I second that motion.
Okay. It's been moved by Commissioner Loomis, seconded by Commissioner Davis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Audrey, I didn't hear your response. I'm sorry.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right. The ayes have it. 5-0-1 absent. Okay. Number 5 for possible action, approval of minutes. Have the commissioners reviewed?
6. No, 6 ayes.
6 ayes to 1
6.
0. I'm sorry.
6. Thank you.
Let's see, did I get through the 3rd grade yet? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we're back on the minutes. Any of the commissioners have any corrections or additions they want to make on the minutes?
I had Commissioner Loomis, I have one edit just at the bottom of page 5, last sentence. We're removing the second that sentence will read, He also discussed shipping containers over 200 square feet requiring a permit and that fees have been updated.
Okay, we'll move to public comments. Does anybody have any public comments on the minutes?
Robin Biggs, for the record, the draft of the minutes were not available to the public. And this is quite negligence. I mean, the draft should have been sitting out there with the agenda when it was in the draft of the minutes for the meetings, all the meetings, city and county should be out there when the agenda is available so that we might find a typo as well. Thank you. By law, it's either.
Is there anybody else in public like to comment? Anybody online? All right, we're gonna move to the vote. Can I have a motion from the commission?
Wendy Loomis, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of July 14th with the one amendment.
We have a second?
Jim Davis, second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Loomis, seconded by Commissioner Davis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? All right, we have 6-0 with one absence. Oh, it passes. Advisory board reports. Do we have any advisory board reports? I don't have any. No. Okay, no advisory reports. All right, number 7, the Community Development Director. For presentation only, a presentation of the Lyon County Community Development Department providing an update on current projects as well as statistical data relating to building permits and planning applications for the month of April through July. Community Development Director, Gavin Henderson. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Gavin Henderson, Community Development Director for the record. So per our last meeting, the Planning Commission requested quarterly reports. So perfect timing to fill our robust agenda today, and then we'll provide our quarterly report this morning. So these reports. Go next slide. Always start with our mission statement. So our mission statement is Lyon County Community Development Department is committed to promoting safe, sustainable, vibrant communities by providing responsive, transparent, professional services in planning, building, code enforcement, and economic development. We as a department strive to guide growth in a manner that preserves the county's unique character, ensures public health and safety, supports responsible development, and fosters a thriving local economy for our current and future generations. Moving forward, so this is first half of the presentation is the building department data. More specifically on this slide shows the residential data. So it shows you our most common permit application types. So we go from new single family residential. So those are new stick built homes all throughout Lyon County. So we had 12 permits from April to July for new single family homes. That's also does not include, and I did highlight in bold new single family repeats. So that is our track homes. So D.R. Horton, Lennar, any of those kind of bigger home builders have a master plan or stock plan process, which basically re-review the homes plans one time, and then it's a repeat. So they submit a plot plan. So it just is a quicker process for those homes because we're not looking at the same house over and over again. So technically, if you add those to the new single family residential, we're at about 138 new homes in Lyon County over the last 4 months. Accessory structures, so that's anything detached from the house. So that's garages, detached garage, sheds, anything over 200 square feet. So we had 39 of those permits. Master stock plans, I just touched briefly on those. So within that 4 month, we did get 3 new master stock plans, and then road encroachment utility permits. So that's new driveways, utility work done within the right of way. So we had about 60 permits doing those work. We got those together, and then miscellaneous permits. That's anything from water heater swap outs, re-roofs, electrical panel swap outs, adding additional outlets in your home, anything like that falls underneath miscellaneous permits. So in total for the last quarter, we had about 492 permits. And our inspectors went out and performed 2,502 inspections between two individuals, 2.5, because Ray, our plan examiner, will help in times of need there. On our current plan review timeline is like 3 to 5 weeks. We averaged about 3 weeks over that 4-month period. So still kind of holding within a good benchmark there.
Question for you. I had a gentleman come over and ask me about, he's replacing a building that went down in the storm. 2 of them went down, and he's replacing with a wooden structure that's engineered and plans permitted. He was told there was 6 to 8 weeks to get his permit.
No, so we do post the timelines on the website. So in order to get ahead of all the maybe the misinformation out there, we review it every 2 weeks and provide an up-to-date timeline there so people can plan accordingly. So I would encourage them to go out there. That's the best place to get information. You just go to the building permit tab. Currently we're at 3 to 5 weeks. Our plan examiner did have a baby, so he took 2 weeks off.
He had a baby?
Yeah, so congratulations, Ray Brown. Welcome to baby. Sorry. His family had a baby.
Okay.
So he took 2 weeks off, so that built a little bit of backlog there. So that's why he bumped it up to 5 weeks. So we'll continue to knock that down as best as we can, but still within pretty good margins there.
Okay.
So moving forward to the next slide is our commercial data. So new construction, so 5 new commercial constructions. I did highlight 4 of them on the bottom of the slide. So we did get a new pump house building in Dayton at the Air Park Vista, a new 48 stall RV and boat storage facility off of East Highway 50, Mark Twain, new detached locker room restroom facility at 1680 Spruce Ave, and then we did get the permit for the new Chevron truck stop off of 6 Mile Canyon. So Planning Commission is probably aware of that one. That went out of CUP, got approved by Planning Commission and the board. So in total, we received about 57 commercial permit applications. Just highlight some of the more common ones that we've seen the past 4 months. So wireless communication facilities. So that's anything between an eligible facilities request. So that's a modification to a tower or a new tower, or taking down an old one and putting up a new one. And then tenant improvements are inside those commercial industrial buildings. So going inside the building, making modifications to the inside, that falls underneath the tenant improvement. And then site improvement and grading. We did have 7 of those permits. So we tend to break out the building permit process between horizontal improvements and then vertical improvements. So horizontal improvements are usually site permits. You can go a step further and break the permit application into a grading permit. So if you're doing a completely new commercial industrial improvement, you could pursue 3 different permit types. The grading's pretty easy to get out for staff. So it's incentivizes developers to apply for that so they can start work on site while all the other plans are being reviewed there. Or they always have the option to apply everything underneath one building permit package and we review it holistically there. Just working with the timelines as far as developers there.
Does agriculture fall under commercial?
Depends on the use.
No, I was just, somebody's replacing a barn.
Yeah.
That would be ag, right?
No. So typically because agriculture is a new zoning district, most of those fall in the rural residential 20-acre minimum. So we usually catch those underneath an accessory structure underneath the residential data, just because of the zoning classification there. But we do see a lot of pole barns going up in Smith Valley and those kind of things.
Yeah, okay.
Is there Wendy on this, is there a maximum size to that it can be an accessory unit?
Not for agriculture buildings. So we've
But it's under residential. You said it would be accessory.
correct. So the zoning is why the data it's in the residential data.
Okay.
But as far as sizing of those agriculture buildings, they're not limited to like an ADU, which is half the square footage of the main home or anything like that.
Okay.
So it goes on. There's a certain amount of I think it's up to 60% of the acreage can have a building on it. So that's the only standard they're held to.
Okay,
So if they wanted to put 10 acres, they could put 6 acres of buildings on the property.
Thank you.
Building updates. So we touched on plan review timelines already. So about 3 to 5 weeks. Building department projects. So we did get an MOU between Central Lyon Fire Protection District approved at the July 16th Board of County Commissioners meeting. That MOU established concurrent plan review. Before this MOU was in place, you had to go apply at Central Lyon and then apply at Lyon County Building Department. And the two processes ran separately. So in the past, Lyon County was in a position where we had to require submittal of plans to have a fire approval with them. So you had to start with fire, and then that was however long, maybe it was 2 to 3 weeks at fire, and then you could apply for the county. So now in today's review process, we can do those concurrently. And we've also pulled Central Lyon into our software permitting system. So you still have to apply for your application at Central Lyon with Central Lyon. That's just for their records keeping, but they do now have the ability to go into our system, review the plans there, put the approval on there, and it's done concurrently while our staff is also looking at the building permit side of things. So we kind of took that 2 to 3 process up front out of it. So now everything's kind of just going together, trying to expedite the process there. And then we're always working with our software provider to adjust the customer side of the permitting portal, as well as making the portal up to date from an aesthetic standpoint. So we're continuing to push the limit there, get the most out of the product that we currently have. And then we do have a residential and commercial checklist that we just put out, should be on the website. That checklist just runs through everything. That's kind of like a paint by numbers system. Go through the checklist. You check the box. It shows you what plans, what's required on the plans. So the goal there is to hopefully get a more complete submittal up front. So we're not having those super preliminary comments, like you don't have the design criteria on the plans. You're missing kind of bigger, larger picture things. Not really touching on the technical aspect as much, because we still want to catch that at the plan review, but trying to make sure that the plumbing plans are there, or the electrical plans are there for a single family home, or whatever it may be. So the goal there was just to have a more complete permit package there. So look for that on the website. It's a good resource if you want to know what your building plan should have on them.
Are you working to have the same kind of a MOU with the other fire districts?
That's the goal. Right now, there's not a need, just because Central Lyon is adopted the WUI, so they review any permit within Central Lyon's purview. So that goes from patio covers to new single family homes to commercial projects. Whereas Mason Valley, Smith Valley, they have a higher threshold, so they don't look at every type of permit. So we don't see the volume that we do with Central. So at this time, it's not really a huge necessity for staff. We don't feel like the fire plan review gets in the way of process there. But as things pick up, definitely it's something we wrote the MOU, so it could just be as simple as swapping the name out and rinse and repeat. We probably even pursue it with North Lyon Fire. We don't have a lot of land out there as far as underneath the county's purview, but the project area that we have out there could see some large projects, so it would be warranted possibly there. Maybe starting it out in Mason Valley too. I know we're getting a lot of attraction out here at the north end of the valley, but at this time it just hasn't been a necessity. The fire chiefs haven't really deemed it a necessity for them either. So it's there. Our plan is to kind of copy and paste it around the county. I think it's a good document. I think it helps everyone out process. They just don't have the volume right now to really push it through. So next we get into planning data. So this is everything from April to July 2026. So temporary use permits. So that's event permits. That's food trucks. Those are our two heavy hitters in that category. So we had 5 of those applications. Conditional use permits, we had 4. Zoning map amendments, we had 2. We did get 1 zoning text amendment at the most recent submittal date. Planning unit developments, tentative, we had 1. Final, we had 1, and then we also had an amendment to a planning unit development. And then moving forward, we'll kind of touch on some of the intake. Planning Commission's seen most of these, so we did get between April and July. We had the Boys and Girls Club Mason Valley. That was a CUP process that got approved by both the Planning Commission and the Board of County Commissioners. So this is a 13,666 square foot clubhouse and a 14,180 foot recreational center gymnasium building. So that one's gotten through the entitlement process, so we should be looking forward to see building permits pretty soon for that project. Excited to have that in the county. We also received a master plan amendment and a CUP for Tract to do a compressed natural gas trucking station. This one was submitted in the time period, but it kind of had a later hearing date just because it's a master plan amendment. And the developer wanted to run the applications together. So Tract is proposing a compressed natural gas, they call it a CNG trucking station on a portion of property within its larger Sapphire Technology Park. So the Planning Commission member Tract has that specific plan northeast of the Microsoft parcel for a data center. So within that project, they're looking to amend their specific plan to add the compressed natural gas use. And then within that also apply for the CUP for the use as well. So that one should be coming forward in the near future as well.
Can you describe the location of that
So
casual term?
if you're familiar with the Microsoft parcel, which is north of the NDOT yard across the street from the Silver Springs Airport. So Tract is northeast of there. I think Raleigh touches it, Mountain Drive, Carson Street will take you all the way up to it. We also had the final PUD for Winston Solar. The final PUD process is an administrative process, unless there's substantial changes. And then we take it back to the board for final approval. So staff issued final approval for the Winston planning unit development for their solar panel project, which is approximately 2,374 acres. And it's approximately 400 megawatt solar facility. And that includes accessory uses like battery energy storage systems and O&M building and the transmission lines. They are also just recently applied for a PUD amendment. That request is to amend the setback from 95A to facilitate a larger transmission line corridor / easement on the eastern boundary of the project. The Planning Commission may be aware that those corridors we always talk about, they run east and west along Penrose. So the project is trying to reduce their setback for the highway to gain some square footage as far as developable area in order to allow those lines to run north into the substation instead of having to run west, right on the backside of those Penrose residents.
Does that have to come for, does that have to come for us?
No, so it's a PUD amendment, and any amendment usually goes back to the approving body.
So go to the Board of Commissioners.
That's correct.
Is that coming up?
Yes. We had the PUD tentative for the Monarch Data Center, so everyone's well aware of this project. So this was a 1,000 megawatt data center facility, 500 megawatt battery energy storage system, 500 megawatt natural gas power plant, and that had final approval of the tentative PUD on August 6, 2026. And then our zoning text change. So this is a newer process. I'm not aware that the county's seen one of these in the recent past, but this process is basically we'll call it developer applicant proposed ordinance. So this is a zoning text change, and the request is to amend Title 15, Chapter 320 to modify the uses allowed in the implement mixed use zoning district. So this one will have to come to the PC and to the board, and it's basically a private entity driven ordinance. So it's not coming from staff. It's coming from an applicant there. So new process, but look forward to seeing that one in the near future as well. April to July 2026 planning updates. So ordinances, so code enforcement. So the ordinance is currently under legal review with the district attorney's office. So we had the workshop, great workshop. We've made no changes, and now those are waiting for the DA's approval there. Event ordinance. So this one kind of got backlogged a little bit with everything I had going on with the data center ordinance, the code enforcement ordinance. So we're still pursuing finalizing that one to create a tier system for events, because we understand that not all events are created equal. So we want to make sure that there's tiers there so each event is handled appropriately. We have the land use tables. So the goal of the land use tables is to potentially look at adding accessory uses into land use table. And make any further corrections that staff has noticed along the way. And then we have the data center ordinance, which we had the workshop on August 3rd. It was a great workshop, lots of public comment, lots of good comment from the Board of County Commissioners as well. So provided valuable feedback there. We plan to make those adjustments in accordance with the workshop and to be brought back to the Board of County Commissioners in the future. Other projects, so staff's been working, this is kind of a community development driven project, working with utilities, county engineer, road department to develop design criteria and improvement standards manual. So currently we don't have a manual where all these standards are in one place. So again, trying to consolidate information and put it in a platform that's easily digestible for developers. So the manual will be a living document which will guide development projects during design to meet county standards. So I'll walk developer through the improvement plans, what those should have on it, grading plans, storm drainage criteria, roads department, standard details and designs there, as well as utilities. Staff is also working with our Lyon County Water Resources Plan. So this is it's a project funded by DRI through grants through the state. Every county and city has to have a water resource plan, I believe, by 2030, if I'm not mistaken. So we're getting ahead of the ball game using DRI as a resource to help us write it. What that water resource plan do? It's not a policy document, so it's just guiding water use. So what it does is it identifies the water supply and demand. It provides a comparison section, so we're comparing our supply versus demand, and then the last section is actually the mitigations or how to handle water use going into the future. That could be anything from conjunctive management. It could be trying to pursue adding additional reservoirs because runoff is melting quicker, so we might want to catch that water sooner rather than letting it flow into the river. And if we don't use it, we lose it, right, as a farmer there. So that's what that plan is for. So we've done all the way up to section 3. So we've done the introduction, supply, demand. So the next step is section 4, which is the supply versus demand analysis. We also plan on going out and meeting with the irrigation districts, the ditch companies, the conservancy districts to get input on section 5, which is that mitigation section. I'm obviously not a water mitigation expert, so we want to go talk to the experts, people that actually use the water rights for agriculture, farming, developers, all that sort of thing, and make sure they have a holistic plan on how to deal with that going in the future. It's a plan that's updated every 10 years, like the master plan. So once approved by the Board of County Commissioners, it'll be a 10-year plan. There's a lot of like Tumwa or Southern Nevada Water Authority. They have these plans already in place. So the NRS now requires that all counties have them. So DRI was a good funding resource to help us get that off the ground and running. If there's any questions on that.
Yeah, Jim Davis. Knowing that, or at least my understanding is that the water rights and water determination in Nevada is the responsibility of the state of Nevada water engineer. What's the interplay between the county being required to have a water resources plan and the state's responsibility to manage that water?
So the state does review the plan. And I think it's more so just making sure that it's not it doesn't get into water rights and how to use them. What we're going is, okay, we have this many subdivisions going in Dayton. Okay, how does that going to affect our supply? Water rights are a finite resource at the end of the day. So the plan is really to show, okay, this is what we're going to see in the future between the residential development, general development, people building their own single family homes on a large acre parcel. And we want to see, and the state wants to see how our development patterns are moving and how that's going to affect supply. It doesn't really get into the water right allocation. Yes, we'll have some of the data on there as far as how many water rights are in each basin. But it's just a planning document. It's for, I think it's more so that the state can see what's going on at a higher level instead of having to ask for that information. So it's all publicly available. So I think it just consolidates what we're already doing, but puts it in a plan that's, available for everyone to read.
Thank you very much.
Wendy, you have a question, Gavin? Is that?
Are you gonna break it down by basin?
The tables and the data are, but the larger items like I guess technically it is, but it's not. The sections aren't broken down into individual basins. So we'll talk about agriculture water, industrial water, residential water, and then that itself gets broken down into basins for the tables. That makes sense.
Random question, if you don't know the answer, that's okay. How many basins do we have in Lyon County?
4.
4? Okay.
Yeah, I believe you have Dayton Valley, Churchill Valley, you have Smith Valley, and then I think Mason touches 1 or 2.
There's some overlap.
So 3
Okay.
or 4, yeah.
All right, thank you.
So, and then we get into active development projects. So we just highlighted some of the larger projects that are actively going under construction. So first one we touched on is the Lever Solar project. So that one's from our standpoint, the Lyon County improvements are completed. So we do have the paved portion of East Walker Road Does not include the first 0.8 of a mile. That was a community concern. The board wrote the condition appropriately, so they don't have to pave that first 0.8 of the mile. But from there to the Walker River State Recreation Area is a paved road. It's 35 miles an hour. If you haven't driven it, it's been it's a nice road. I know the state park appreciates it, so that's been a good asset to add to the county in that area. We do have the Gentile line issued, so that's the transmission lines running from the project to the NV Energy substation off of Sierra Way, the Walker River substation. Do have a TUP we just issued for a laydown yard. So the project is ongoing. Most of the bulk of the work as far as the solar panel erection and all that is in Mineral County. We do have an MOU with Mineral County to review those plans and help them out there. So we did look at the plans. It's just not a permit that we keep track of after our comments have been addressed. Rural Nevada Counseling. So this is the building getting put up in Silver Springs across the street from the Dollar General off of Lake Avenue. So this will be a good asset. So it's 10,594 square feet in the middle of 3 lots proposed development located on the southwest corner of the intersection of Lake Avenue. Future development may include future buildings, additional landscaping, parking. The plan is they own 3 parcels there. They're putting one of their larger counseling buildings up. But their plan is to expand that south into the other 2 parcels, whether it's parking, maybe a rec center or a gymnasium or something like that. Moving forward, we have the NV Energy laydown yard. This is located off 7625 Black Hawk Road. This is a 74-acre laydown yard. So the grading permit's been issued. The grading's been completed. Temporary use permit's been issued for the laydown yard use. Contractor, this is carryover from our previous updates, but contractor's been very engaged with the Stagecoach cab, trying to address concerns. They recognize it's a temporary use. They want to be good neighbors. They've been well receptive of the Stagecoach cab's comments and try to mitigate any issues that come up as far as the sign placement for their contact information. It was a little far back from on the road. Residents wanted it close to the road so they could read it. So those are just an example of small changes that they've implemented. Still have to issue power or electrical permits for the site, so they can provide that power to the job trailers and those kind of things. But it's currently under active use. I'm sure if you drive 50, you'll see the NV Energy transmission towers or poles there, and they're also storing the wire or any other components for that Greenlink project.
Is that your definition of laydown yard? Just a storage area?
Yeah, so county code says that you can do a construction or a laydown yard in any zoning district in the county as long as it's for a project within Lyon County. So in this instance, they had a landowner that wanted to work with them. They pursued it. The TUP, which is available upon request. We wrote it just like a CUP, so pretty stringent conditions there. We wanted to be sensitive to the neighborhood across the street. And it's been working pretty good so far. They will start to install lighting, which is going to be another concern as far as staffs, making sure that that's not a nuisance to the neighborhood as well. So we're trying to get ahead of that as well with the electrical permits that are coming up. Comstock Metals Corporation, so they have a recycling storage yard, which includes grading and a new office building. So state law requires those panels to be stored on a separate parcel than where they're actually doing recycling. So they went down the street, bought that parcel, and then made it into a material storage yard. That included a grading base, storage drainage facilities, and it also included a small security office building. I think it's around 200 square feet, so pretty minimal there. Comstock Metals Corporation also is doing tenant improvements. So inside of the larger warehouse, kind of northeast of Lyon County Human Services and Silver Springs off of Lake Avenue. So that's about a 5,000 square foot tenant improvement. That'll facilitate some of their new equipment they're bringing in for the recycling process. And then lastly on this slide, we have the Microsoft data center.
Before you move on,
Yep.
Jim Davis, did you say that state law requires that the storage yard be a separate parcel than the recycling center for those solar panels?
That's correct, and a parcel in between them. So they had to do a boundary line adjustment, and so they bought both the parcels next to them. And then they did a boundary line adjustment on the middle parcel because they didn't need all that area, so they reduced it to the footprint the minimum footprint required by the zoning. And then the storage is on the far west parcel.
Thank you very much.
Real quick, just so you know, Andrew Merritt, I believe that was actually an EPA requirement because technically the used solar panels are a hazardous material. I remember that one coming through our board, so.
Yeah, I think, yeah, hazardous, I think they now classify it as universal waste, which is underneath that larger umbrella. But one of those things. Microsoft Data Center Campus, so we have all 3 grading permits issued. So that's 1 for the data center campus and 2 for the substations. So there's 2 substations east of the property. One of them will be MV Energy owned, and one of them will be Microsoft owned. So the grading permits have been issued. The contractor, I believe, was at the Silver Springs cab last week with Microsoft. So they were there to answer any questions from the public, any concerns before they start construction. Current plan is to they have to reroute the power line that's running diagonally through the property. They'll reroute that around the perimeter, and then once they'll do that, they'll get their grading equipment on site to start the grading there. They estimate about the grading will take place over a 2 to 3 year time period. Microsoft's being pretty diligent about dust suppression, so they're only going to grade as much area as they can water and keep the dust down. So that's why the grading timeline is a little longer than what typically you see on these industrial projects. They'll first start grading with storm drainage improvements. They do have concerns. Obviously, there's a large drainage that runs through the bottom southwest corner of the property. That's that Ramsey Canyon drainage. So they want to make sure that the property is protected. So those storm drainage facilities are going to get in place first, which will not only help the property, but also help downstream properties as well. So that'll be a good part of the project moving forward. And then floodplain development projects. So Carson Water Septic Conservancy helps us out with the law of area drainage master plan through grant funding within the Carson River watershed. So the last one we had was the Gold Canyon area drainage master plan. So this was a dual county project. So Story County and Lyon County were involved in this project because they overlap as you get to the top of 6 Mile Canyon. So we looked at we have area drainage master plans that cover the larger area. So now the county's goal is to zoom in with these projects, identify maybe smaller, more affordable projects that we can go pursue grant funding with, because the problem we're running into right now is these area drainage master plans. They have these $20 to $40 million projects that are going to help the whole basin area, but the county match is something that right now we can't reasonably provide. So we're going to now move forward, zoom in on these projects, see if we can do culvert upgrades, ditch upgrades, anything of those metrics, where that county match is a number that we can go pursue and actually get some of these projects built. We also are doing Smith Valley, Wellington, Walker River flood inundation study. So the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, as well as Nevada Silver Jackets, they reached out to Lyon County Community Development, asked if we had any projects we wanted them to help with. They have funding availability. There's no county match. They have the ability to do one project for the county at this point in time. So we are going to do the Walker River flood inundation study. So this will take the river flows all the way from the Hoyt Canyon area all the way to Julian Lane at the north end of Mason Valley. So we'll look at that. We'll be able to see what the river does under certain conditions. The goal there was Smith Valley specifically has a lot of incorrectly mapped floodplain hazard areas. So areas where a property may be on a 40-foot bluff and it's mapped zone A, which holds them to design standards and county code, which would be an elevation requirement, or whether it's 1.5 feet above BFE, which is base flood elevation, or if there's no base flood elevation on the FEMA maps, then you're 3 feet above adjacent grade. So didn't make sense. We wanted to pursue some sort of project that would help us interpret those boundaries better, because right now the onus goes back on the applicant to provide us a topographic survey from a licensed engineer to show us if the boundaries are incorrect, or to prove to us that elevation basically removes them from those design criteria. So that's what hopefully this project will do. It does also help with emergency management. as far as evacuation proceedings, routes, those kind of things. If we have another like 97 flood, which was a big one that almost took out town of Yerington. 2023 was another big one where they had to put the levee in on the east side of the Walk River, kind of by Goldfield, Golden Gate area. So the goal there is to utilize resources that are available to us to get information to protect the communities and also help developers or, owner builders build to a lesser standard if it's applicable.
Wendy Loomis, quick question. Who did you say had the funding for that? Who was
So
it?
this project is going through Nevada Silver Jackets.
Silver Jackets?
Yep.
Who are they?
It's a kind of subsidiary of FEMA at the state level that does anything from working on waterways permits. They work with U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and they help with flood mitigation projects, maybe potentially cleaning out rivers, bridges.
And there's no match required for this?
No match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So they came to us with some money to do a project. We said, absolutely. We got a good one to get on the books because right now we don't have a CTP partner, which is cooperative technical partner, to actually go and pursue grant funding in the Walker River Basin. So we don't have a CWSD, who's our CTP partner in the Carson River watershed, to go and do the same like area drainage master plans for like Smith Valley, Mason Valley, those kind of things. So we're trying to get.
Timeline for this project?
It'll be about 1.5 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, so right now they're actively doing the modeling. It's a large model, like I said, it's going from Boyd Canyon all the way to the Julian Lane at the north end of Mason Valley. They got to look at the gauges, the gauge data, and empirical data, anecdotal evidence, and then start making sure that models meets all the requirements there. And that's our quarterly report. It's always available for questions.
Mark Jones, the record. Is this information available online to the public?
Yeah, so this
It will be.
Yeah,
Because
so
people are asking for information they can go look at.
it will be, yeah. So
Okay, great.
it'll be a part of the agenda. The planning applications, there is a separate page underneath the website, so you can see all the planning intake on the Lyon County website. It's applications that are submitted that are going to be a public hearing date. If we have the public hearing date, we'll put that on there. If it's not, just those to be determined. Past applications. There's also a spreadsheet there as well as people can pull up, see where applications are at, whether they're approved, in process, those kind of things. So that's been a good resource. There, we're still working with the Dow and IT department to hopefully get that development map done. So the goal there, City of Friendly's got a great one. As a kind of a nearby jurisdiction, that map will have the shape files on it across countywide, and you'll be able to click on the shape. There'll all be different colors, but click on the shape, it'll pull up the project, where it's at in process, the boundaries of the project. So if you see some movement in your area, want to know what's going on, hopefully that'll be a good resource to click on that, get all the information as far as approvals. Maybe the tentative maps will be posted on there so people can understand what's going on, and then to always contact us if you have any further questions. So the goal is there. It's been kind of a bumpy up road battle there, just because I don't understand all the IT stuff, but we had some server issues that weren't compatible with the product that Dow was providing us. So we're working out the bugs there. Hopefully get that done in the near future.
Commissioner Urban or Alan, do you have any comments or questions?
Commissioner Irvin has his hand raised.
Oh, he does have his hand raised.
Yes.
Put your hand up so I can see that. Okay.
Yes, the Mike Irvin. So is there a chance that the community development is understaffed?
There's a chance.
One of the things I noticed with community development, if you have a urgent permit, sometimes it takes a long time. 2 to 3 days is a long time if your power pole's laying on the ground. And the other thing I had was, do we have any plans to improve the payment process?
Yes, that's a great question. So right now, I believe the comptroller's office and the clerk and treasurer's office is working with Sage, who's our software provider, and the GSA side of that to have online payment be a part of the software. So I believe that's about 2 to 3 months out. And as part of that, so as you apply for your building permit, you'll be able to pay online as well. Right now, you have to call in, pay over the phone, write us a check. You can use a credit card, but there's a 2.5% fee on top of that. But in the future, definitely it'll be a little easier to pay as well, as you could do that at your home while you're applying for your permit.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Allen, anything on your end? No. Okay, thank you very much. That was very informative. Thank you. Okay, we'll move down to number 8. Commissioner comments and agenda requests. So I'll start down here on my left. No, sure. Last shot. Jim?
None for me.
Commissioner Loomis.
Yeah, Commissioner Loomis, Gavin, I have a question. I don't know if you can answer it. Back in July, after the last meeting, we all received an email from Andrew regarding a FOIA request. So a couple of questions. One, was it resolved?
Yes.
2, is there anything to share? And 3, did the Board of County Commissioners also receive that same request?
Gavin Harrison, Lyon County Community Development Director for the record. So the FOIA request is resolved. I believe everyone, and I say that broadly because it was a very broad public records request. So that would include the board, the planning commission, staff. All the information that we had available per the request was given to, I guess, the requestee. Did not receive any feedback as far as requiring more. So as far as we're concerned, FOIA request was taken care of. Not sure what they're going to do with the information, but it's out there, it's publicly available. So, per that state law, if someone requests it, we're required to give it to them. So,
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it was done. We weren't going to need to go back in again. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
The requester is confidential. Is that?
I'm not entirely sure how that works. I say it right now without the DA being here. Give me information.
Nobody here.
I'll keep it to its
Won't tell. Step. Okay, good.
I don't know if Commissioner Irvin's hand is still up or if he has another question.
Michael took it down. Okay, we're good. Okay. Any agenda items anybody would request they want to put on the agenda?
You need to check.
I already asked RJ, okay? And she didn't say anything.
Okay.
She didn't answer. So. Based on how many people want to run the meeting here. Okay, then if there's no, we're gonna go into the last public comment section here. Okay, where is it? Okay. Public participation, number 9. No action will be taken on any item until it is properly agendized. Members of the public who wish to address the planning commission may approach the podium and speak on matters related to the planning, Lyon County Planning Commission, but not on items appearing on the agenda. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person or topic and will not be restricted based on viewpoint. No action may be taken upon a matter raised under this item of agenda until the matter itself has been specifically included on an agenda as an item upon which action may be taken. Do we have any public comment?
Robin Biggs for the record. We should have representative from the Lyon County District Attorney's Office at this meeting. This is inappropriate. This is wrong. This meeting should not be happening. There is no sound in the lobby of this, and I've reported that, and still no sound in the lobby. You're talking, the maps are inappropriate. You're going on the local fire department for all this. It needs to be state, local, and federal. You're ignoring the 2 sovereign nations. The Walker River Paiute tribe and the Yerington Paiute tribe. The BLM land is being sold illegally. More and more parcels over in Silver Springs. You got alluvial fans out there. It's not suited for what they're doing, and these data centers are instruments of mass destruction. Anybody can commandeer, and you don't know what's going on in them, and it's all going to be all of these things. It's going to end up being NV energy. You haven't done your homework. You're just going, oh, local fire department. It needs to be state and federal fire department. The poles, the lines, the power lines, none of that's supposed to be happening yet. You have not consulted the sovereign nations. Ducks Unlimited and International needs to be knowing about all this, what's going on with the Green Link. And it's been told for you individuals of the Planning Commission and the County Commissioner should be looking into this and not just sitting back. You're not being proactive, accountable. You say finally, from December of 2025, I've been asking for the emails. Oh, it's online. Go find it. Not everybody owns a computer. Some people have disabilities. They can't do it. Why can't it be put on here for transparency and being proactive? All your group emails, so we can reach out to you and tell you what a great job you're doing. Where you're remiss, where you're destroying the planet, the people, the ecosystem. It should be on here, where it's on the minutes. No, let's be proactive and put it here on these agendas. And the fact that these minutes are not available, the draft minutes are not available at the time the agendas are put out is illegal. We need state and federal, it needs to go to Washington, D.C.
Thank you, Robin.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's bring it back into the commissions. Any commissioners have anything else they want to bring? Okay, then I'm going to adjourn this meeting. It is 9:58 a.m. Thank you.
Oh, he likes.